Hello everyone, my name is Daisy Young and I'm an English and Sustainability dual major here at UNH. I'm going to be presenting on storytelling in the New Hampshire food culture, and all photos used throughout this presentation are credited to Ink and Light Photography. So earlier this semester, there's a logo missing, but it's okay. Earlier this semester, I knew that I wanted to do an internship, and I knew I wanted to do it on food work. So I went to Erin Hale, who's my advisor for the SDM and who also works with New Hampshire Food Alliance, and she connected me to Colleen Stewart, who I worked very closely with throughout the extent of the project. They both introduced me to the Field Photos project. So last fall, New Hampshire Food Alliance hired Ink and Light to take photos of 6 of their network partners across the state. I joined the project with the purpose of sharing the stories of New Hampshire food providers through photographs and their own words to build a more cohesive and connected food culture in the Granite State. So before I get into what the project actually looked like, I want to talk about the importance of storytelling. So storytelling, for those of you who may not know, is a different way to present information rather than data and numbers. Vast challenges like those that are presented in our industrialized food system require a lot of passion and motivation to change them. And the best way to showcase this passion is through real stories with real images from real people. And also I wanted to talk about my use of the term food culture rather than the industrialized term food systems. So I'm going to quote from Real Food, Real Stories, which is a California storytelling nonprofit, and they talk about how we can work as communities to reclaim our food story, to, quote, cultivate a food culture that offers real nourishment for all people. The story of food is the story of us, which means we get to change it. So getting into the project process, I started out with some light internet research, orienting myself with New Hampshire food systems to better develop some questions which I would ask these 6 partners. So the questions asked about inspiration, successes, challenges, and future outlook for the organizations. I used these questions to conduct the 6 interviews, which each ranged from 30 to 90 minutes long, which I transcribed word for word to turn into these wonderful Q&A style storytelling pieces that would pair with the amazing images from Ink and Light Photography. So these are the list of the partners that I had the chance to interview. There were farmers and breweries and nonprofits. I was especially excited to work with the Cornucopia Project, which was the very organization that I worked with in high school, which jump-started my interest in this food work, and it was completely coincidental, but it was really great for me. So now I'm going to talk about some major takeaways I learned throughout my internship. So the first takeaway I learned is that there is so much passion that currently exists on both ends of consumption and production in our food culture. So Andrea from New Hampshire Community Seafood is pictured here, talked about the importance of finding this passion rather than constantly trying to reinvent the wheel to build a strong foundation for our movement. The second takeaway I learned was that connections and relationships are absolutely critical to a thriving food culture. So Liz is pictured here with her 2 kids, Asa and Wilder, along with her spouse, Rachel, from Highwater Farm. They talked about how if it wasn't for Mount Washington eaters and growers, they wouldn't be composting at their farm. They wouldn't have it as a top 10 priority. And Mount Washington eaters and growers introduced them to local breweries that they get their spent grain from to make compost, as well as the Vermont Composting Association. So they really rely on these local connections. And the next takeaway I wanted to talk about, and my final one, was inspired by Mark from Archway Farm in Keene, New Hampshire. And he talked about how hard it is to get local products into these big grocery stores. In fact, there are many opportunities that people just don't know about. There's food assistance programs that people don't know that they can apply for. There's grants for small businesses that people can apply for. So there's all these different kinds of things that people qualify for that they just don't know about. So it's about increasing this visibility and awareness. So what's next? What's next is that we're going to be sharing these stories across New Hampshire Food Alliance communications and social media. So I linked some of the social media pages. You can look for that in. And stories are still under development. We will also be presenting some things at the New Hampshire Food Systems statewide gathering on May 13th, so photos and quotes and whatnot. And what's next in the meantime for you all is to just get involved with your local food culture. So go to a farmer's market, tell a story, listen to a story, buy your local greens, just get involved because it's all steps towards building a more connected food culture. Thank you.